welcome back. We're back to playing Scarlet Hollow. This is part 2 of episode 1. Last time on our wonderful adventure in this wonderful visual novel, we are finally getting settled into our room as well as this dusty ass house. I cannot wait to see what hidden stories the house hold for us and what the rest of the town has to offer. But let's get into it. And this is where we last left off. And now it's just you and the sprawling, decrepit estate. Let's actually go straight to the Forbidden Wings of the estate. With Tabitha Khan, there's no one stopping from going into the Forbidden Wings of the estate. Except for the locks and chains sealing them shut. Alright, so at this point, let's just settle into our room. Now that your cousin is gone, the aches and pains of your journey sink into your bones. You stumble back up the stairs to your room, suitcase in tow, eager to unwind before you face the rest of the day. You stand at the entrance to your room. Let's put our clothes in the dresser. You drag your suitcase over the dresser and open the bottom drawer. An opossum lurks within. It's quiet, but angry. A friend! I know hurt. A friend! I'm sorry. I'm not... Damn. If we ask him a question... What's in the sealed off part of the estate? There's a door with a bunch of locks and chains on it. And I want to know what's behind it. The opossum shivers. Bad place. Not safe. Dustin no visit. Can you tell me about the human who lives here? Which human? Pearl Ann died. Only one human lives here. Dustin not good with names. 2 human live here. Okay. Can you tell me about the humans who live here? 1 human sad, 1 human scary. The scary human. Always watches, eyes hateful. The sad human. Cries, gives Dustin bad sleeps. Never mind. Thanks for the help, Dustin. Okay. Alright, what are you doing in my drawers? Warm, dark. Can you move, please? I want to put my clothes in here. No, this is Dustin house. Okay, let's fashion your clothes into a nest. You look cold in there. You gently lay your clothes on top of the creature, arranging them in the little nest. Dustin closes his mouth somewhat more at ease than before, and looks up at you with shiny black eyes. Human is kind to Dustin. Dustin will remember this. You close the drawer, satisfied with your job well done. Alright, I'm not going to take a nap in this dusty-ass bed. Let's look out the window. Can only imagine how beautiful the garden must have been in its heyday. If you own this place, you'd totally get out there with a shovel and some gardening gloves and whip it into shape. You'd go out and pull weeds, chop trees, carve topiaries, and do whatever you needed to do to return to its former glory. And once it was all done, you sit by the fountain, which of course would have a little goldfish in it, and drink floral tea while enjoying the birdsong. Someone is into these manhwas that's on, you know, that's on manga decks and shit. Yes, the good dude. Yeah, you definitely do that, just not right now. Let's check the closet. You can see why your cousin said you should put your clothes in the dresser instead of this closet. There must be decades of family history stacked up in here. Let's pick up the doll. Of course, you're sharing a room with a creepy doll. You pick it up to examine it more closely. Its foot reads, Property of Alexandra. No need to carry this around with you. Fucking weird. Examine the painting on the wall. It must be an old relative of yours. Very old, judging by the dates on the inscription. You never heard of her, but you'd barely heard anything about your aunt and cousin until a week ago. So that's not really a surprise. Maybe you could ask Tabitha about this Mary Belle Scarlet the next time you see her. That is, if she's actually in the mood for conversation. Yeah, because she's been getting on my nerves. We're not going to take a nap. That's enough. Let's make a PB&J. You haven't had anything to eat all day. The only things louder than your stomach right now are the cracks and moans of this ancient place. A PB&J sounds exactly what you need to take on the rest of the day. You head to the kitchen. You're back in the kitchen, ready to craft a beautiful peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's a daunting task, given the state of the place, but the aggressive growls of your stomach outweigh the fear of food poisoning. To get started, you probably need to find some peanut butter, some jelly, bread, plate, and a knife. Let's approach Frou-Frou. Frou-Frou hesitates as you draw near and remains firmly in place. You might want to talk to me, but I don't want to talk to you. Go away. Alright, so... Dustin says there's more than one person living in this house. Oh, you talk to that disgusting little rat? Who lives in this house is none of your concern. Can you tell me about... the aunt's dead. We don't really care. Let's talk about... Ooh, do you know what's in the sealed part of the estate? Can you tell me about Tabitha? This is the first time I've met her. Spare me your life story. Tabitha at least knows not to bother me. Okay, let's back away. Try not to make any sudden movements. It's good to see that you finally learned your place. Okay, Frou-Frou. Frou-Frou eyes remain fixed on you with palpable disdain. Okay, so let's search the fridge. Catches on the note say, Janie, stay out in all caps. Below it in separate handwriting, the words okie dokie. You open the refrigerator, feel a deep urge to wash your hands, even though you have yet to touch anything on other than the handle. Jesus. Why did you do that? What were you expecting? This takeout container is disgusting beyond words. A liquefied mess wholly congealed in its styrofoam shell. You can't even tell what it used to be. Something just doesn't smell bad. It smells ancient. For God's sakes, put it back. Body reacts will re-register what you're doing, compelled by deep primal disgust. Back of the fridge, pushing in the depths of the shelves and out of your mind. Hopefully you can forget it exists and move on with your life. Check mayonnaise? You probably shouldn't, but part of you has to know how old that mayonnaise is. Pick up the jar, its label flaking in your hand, and expired 10 years ago. The jar is mayonnaise old enough to graduate the 5th grade. Holy fuck. Best to put it back and forget you ever saw it. Let's take jelly. You reach for one of the unopened jars of grape jelly, carefully checking its expiration date. You breathe a sigh of relief when you realize it's recent. It was either purchased specifically for you, or jelly is one of the few things in this kitchen Tabitha actually uses. Now you need a plate and a knife and bread. All right, let's close the fridge. She told us not to touch our, ice cream. Search the pantry. Tabitha sure loves her mac and cheese. Look closer. You squint into the darkness of the pantry. Behind the molded bread, a single book lies forgotten. Thin layer of dust collected on its cover. You pick it up. You flip to a bookmark page. Teddy's favorite. Serve on toast with plain crackers. Cast brain and aspic are unappetizing enough on their own, and you can only imagine how vile the combination of the two would be. What kind of person would call this their favorite food? No wonder your mom ran far away from this place. You shut the book and put it back in its place. Let's take the bread. You pick up some non-moldy loaves of bread. Great, one step closer to satisfying snack. Let's take the peanut butter. The king of nut butters, and only 3% of each jar is mashed up cockroaches. All right, we need a plate and a knife. Let's close the pantry and let's open the cabinets. Cabinets looks weird. Tabitha keeps the dishware and, oddly enough, the utensils. Okay. Grab a plate and butter knife. Time to get to work. Let's actually examine the mug. It reads, I was blown away at Bowling Rock, North Carolina. So your aunt and cousin actually traveled sometimes, even if it's only a few hours away from the estate. Maybe you route your return trip through Blowing Rock. It might be nice to see the local sites before heading home. What's the shot glass? It reads, I survived Deb's 50th. Your aunt's name was Pearl Ann, so this wasn't from our 50th. From a few stories you've heard from your mom, Pearl Ann wasn't the type to have Kitschy's friend who gave out themed shot glasses at their birthday parties. Maybe it belongs to Janie. Oh, you imagine she might need alcoholic beverage to get through cleaning this place, especially Tabitha's sour face peering over her shoulder. All right, that's enough. Let's close the cabinet. All right, make that PBJ. Despite the state of the horrendous kitchen, you have successfully combined your 3 ingredients to make peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Congratulations, you can feed yourself. A job well done. All of that hassle, and it took you less than a minute to eat. The rest of the day lies in front of you. Let's check out the garden. The garden was reclaimed by the wilderness long ago. Might not have been very safe, but who's to stop you from venturing deeper? Explore the garden. Okay, so we're going back because there's a cemetery. I think that's the back of the house and a greenhouse. Return to the kitchen. All right, so you're done here. You've eaten a full day ahead of you. What do you want to do next? Might as well head to town. There's not much left for you to do here other than head out and explore the town. You do just that. So we're getting where places. If you had known you'd wind up having to walk all the way back to town, you probably would have just asked Tabitha to leave you at the bus stop, especially with how unhappy she seemed to see you. If only you could wipe the slate between the two of you clean and bury some of the tension. Though maybe your mother's funeral isn't the best time for something like that. Then again, maybe it's the perfect time. Continue down the path. It's really about pretty out here. Finally, you made it back to town. The Holler, as the guy on the bus called it. It's probably seen better days. It still has the feeling of an idyllic country town, but its sidewalks are cracked and many of the storefronts are boarded up, their windows dusty with age. A chill breeze sweeps down the lane, and you shudder, suddenly feeling as if you're peering into a grave. Gretchen, come back! Quit bothering strangers! Why do I declare? Who is this stranger? And why does she smell of peanut butter? Sorry about that. Gretchen can be very slippery when she wants to be. She loves to get loose and cause havoc. I love Gretchen. Gretchen is now my dog. It's nice to meet you, Gretchen. I'm Ash. Oh my, I can't remember the last time I met a newcomer who was so wonderfully polite. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Ash. That's a funny way to introduce yourself. I'm Stella. It's not often I see a strange face up in the Holler. Every now and then there's a new crop of coal folks, but you don't look dusty enough for that. Okay, bitch. You aren't in town for the funeral, are you? The Scarlet funeral? Hi, I'm Ash. You must be Tabby's cousin, right? Upon mention of your cousin, Gretchen mutters under her breath. One of these days, I'll get that Tabitha to pet me. That's the only person I can think of who would come to town for the funeral. How's she's holding up? To be honest, I've been a little worried about her. All alone up in that big house. I'm sorry. Did you say Tabby? I can't imagine Tabitha ever going by something so bubbly. She did back when I knew her better. It's been a while. I hope she's okay. She's putting on a front. I don't think she's doing too well. She's been icy, sure, but it feels like she's putting it on as a front. She's always been a little rough around the edges. To be honest, it's always been hard to tell if it's just the way she is or she's just been putting on an act her whole life. To think she's been up in that old mansion all by herself. It'll probably be good for her to know that you're staying there, even if she doesn't think so by herself. How long have you known her? Oh, quite a long time. Town's really small, so everyone knows everybody else as far as back as they can remember. Tabby and I got a little close when we were both in the school's production of A Midsummer's Night's Dream. I was Puck, and she was a mustard seed. As you might have expected, she was a little more than prickly, but I managed to soften her up a bit in the end. But then she graduated, and that was that. I haven't seen that girl or her horrible little cat since I was middle-aged. Oh, before it slips my mind, if you're staying up in that spooky old mansion, you must have met the frou-frou. How does that monster fare? Tabitha's cat, unfortunately, we've met. She's so condescending. Wait, what? Are you messing with me? You can't actually talk to my dog, right? Alas, you've discovered my dark, terrible secret. I can talk to animals, and animals can talk to me. This dog sounds like a southern belle when she talks. Yeah, of course you're joking. You and Stella maintain a silent, awkward eye contact. Well, next time you see the devil, please send my regards. And do let her know that not only do I still draw breath, but that I very much still plan to outlive her. Oh, if you just got to town, you must be starving. I was just on my way for the diner for a coffee, and they got amazing biscuits. My treat. Let's follow her. The pleasant aroma of greasy breakfast food hangs heavy in the air. In contrast to the empty, lifeless atmosphere of the family estate, the diner is filled with the comforting din of human life. All of which grinds to a sudden halt as the patron realizes that a stranger has entered the establishment. Hey everyone, I'm Ash, just in town for the funeral. Before anyone can respond, you and Stella casually slide into the booth, pretending the whole town just didn't gawk at you like a sideshow attraction. Looks like your entrance is a little more dramatic than you were expecting, huh? Okay, look at this bitch-ass cop. Folks around here don't meet any strangers as is, and with who you're related to, well, let's just say you'll be the talk of the town for a while. You know, as you settle into the booth, you can't help but pick up some of the murmurs of the conversation around you. Listen in. Stella turns to Gretchen while you take a quick look around the diner. At the counter, two policemen, and a woman you assume to be the owner shoot sidelong glances in your direction while whispering to each other. Vivian's kid. Never thought we'd actually meet her. Looks so much like her. Oh yes, those eyes are unmistakable. That haunted look. I always thought it'd go away once it finally got out of this town, but I guess unhappiness was baked into their DNA. Mm-hmm. A young mother and her syrup-stained child sit at the table across from you. Mommy, who's that? Don't stare, Tulip. That's Miss Tabitha's cousin. Oh, so that's why she looks so sad. I would look sad too if I had Miss Tabitha as a cousin. Do you think Tabitha's cousin is mean too? I don't know. I'll find out next time I go visit Miss Tabitha. Are you going to finish your pancakes? They're almost cold, Sweet Pea, and we've got to get home to help Daddy. In the far back corner of a man sits a lone small table, sipping coffee and reading a paper. Why are the strangers who wander into town never gorgeous blonde ladies of an appropriate age? Why is it always cold boys, punks, and whippersnappers? Lastly, a group of miners sit hunched around the corner booth, readily scarfing down heaping plates of food. So that's the boss's cousin. That's the funeral this week, if I remember right, for old Miss Pearl Ann. May she rot in peace. Ugh, let the lady rest, Lloyd. One shouldn't speak ill of the dead, no matter how foul they were, especially before they've been so much lain to rest. If you've been around in her heyday, you be speaking ill too, Tommy. He's right, nastiest woman I've ever met. That Tabitha's a blessing compared to her. Curse the whole lot of them. May every Scarlet burn in hell. Damn. That's enough of that. Shit. Hey, Stella, I went ahead and fixed you up a plate. They gracefully placed a cup of specially brewed coffee in front of Stella. Oh, shucks. Thanks, Avery. Here's some bacon for the little lady. For me? For me? Gretchen sniffs the bacon and digs in. Ooh, to hide the text box anytime? Ah, look at her. I love this. This is great. Anything for you? Order a biscuit and coffee. Could I have a biscuit and coffee, please? I heard they were really good. Best in the country. Avery pours the fragrant brew into the empty mug in front of you. Then you linger after pouring your coffee, turning to you nervously. Oh, and, sorry for your loss. Before you have the chance to respond, they're gone. Glad you took my advice with the biscuit. You won't regret it. Anyways, the funeral's not till Sunday, right? That gives you quite a bit of time to slum around town. Try to think of if there are any cool events going on this week. There's always the reading adventure at the library, which is supposed to be for little kids, but I do it every month anyway. Oh, and I'm pretty sure Avery's throwing a party Saturday night, so that's one thing to look forward to. And there's a weekly Saturday potluck. That should be right after the funeral too, so it'll be a special occasion. Is the potluck like a church thing? No. The Sunday thing is coincidental. It's actually hosted by the library. Not too many people go to the church around here, if I'm being honest. A non-religious community in the rural South? I know. We must seem like heathens. But there's plenty of God-fearing folks in town. They just aren't the biggest fan of the local church. Well, the building's okay, but the pastor's another story. It's just something a little off about the guy. You'll get what I mean if you ever meet him. And unfortunately, you probably will. Anyway, those are all the big events I can think of. As for the day-to-day, any idea you want to kill time for the rest of the week? Do you have something in mind? Was I being that obvious? My job means I spend a lot of time in the woods with camera. It's always better when someone else is there too. Before Stella can finish, Avery returns, biscuit in tow. Is there nothing else coming for May? gosh, if I'd known the plate of bacon would be my main and only course, I would have waited before digging in. Here's your biscuit. When he says it's on the house, she sends her condolences. Let's look at this biscuit. Where's the biscuit? Thanks, it looks great. You pick up the biscuit, it's delicate and fluffy. It nearly crumbles at your touch. Buttery warmth emanates from its surface. You take a bite, it melts in your mouth as if it was nothing but butter suspended in a thin matrix of dough. Truly, this is the perfect biscuit. Whoa, this is a really good biscuit. Wow. I'm so glad you like it. Avery lingers at the table for a moment. So, has Stella mentioned she's famous? Oh, Avery, I'm not famous. Look, if you're not gonna go tooting your own horn, you know I'm gonna do it for you. Stella sighs. I'm a YouTuber. That and everybody else. What kind of videos do you do? She hunts cryptids. You should really check out her channel, Ash. It's amazing. I think the best video to start with is that river one. Not the lake, but you know, the controversial one. Oh yeah, the Catawba River Runner. I didn't expect much out of that footage at the time, but it wound up being my most popular video by far. So the River Runner is cryptid that's only known from a single sighting. 2 Boy Scouts, though, they saw something big and weird in the Catawba River, and that's all I had to go on. But then I wound up catching this on camera. Stella pulls out her phone and shows up a clip of something in the river. Ma'am. Despite the shaky camera footage, you can clearly make out the shape of the creature's head and its relatively body proportions. Pretty sure it's a cat, and a big one at that. Some folks say it was a beaver, but if that's the case, it'd at least be twice the size of any beaver I've seen. Also had people saying it was a dog, or even a capybara that must have escaped from a local wildlife sanctuary. It was a mountain lion. I could smell it stink from a miles away. I'm still not sure what it was, and I'm the one who saw the thing with my own 2 eyes. Gretchen thinks it's a mountain lion. I'm not gonna hide the fact that I talk to animals. I'm just gonna tell her I talk to animals. Very funny. You might have gotten me earlier, but I'm onto you. You're not going to trick me into thinking you could talk to my dog. As for your theory, no way. It's absolutely not a mountain lion. There are no mountain lions this far east. I did a whole video on Appalachian mountain lion myth and found jack squat. And there's no reason one would be swimming in a river like this. They're not fans of water. And the body is too long. No way. Personally, I'm a fan of the capybara theory. Sure, it's not like any local sanctuaries were missing one, but there's always people keeping exotic animals as pets. Kind of like a sewer gator type thing. Exactly. Some exotic pet owners set it free and you know it will remain roam, and the Catawba confusing Boy Scouts and YouTube commenters for years to come. So, speaking of things to do around town, I was actually planning on filming this week's video tonight. I was wondering if maybe you'd like to come along. And this is where we'll stop here for right now. So we've met Stella, we've met Avery, which I'm thinking I'm gonna have to date. Just saying. That concludes part 2. If you're not already following the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Twitch handle will be somewhere here on the screen, as well as Twitter. If you like very wholesome streams, follow me. I stream at least once or twice a week, depending upon my mood, and Butter's my dog. Also for Twitter, if you like shit posting, Gojo simping, and a lot of things of that nature, follow me. I appreciate you there. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.